Right. 7 March 2022. And today I've got a very, very quick live discussion on a court case. So normally I do these court cases because I know that most people don't have an opportunity to go through the court cases and find out what's going on. And this particular court case that I'm going to be talking about today relates to a popular award-winning journalist, Hopewell Chinyoka. You know, I always talk about Chinyoka. He's my brother. And as I always say, Chinyoka, either you like him or you don't. It's you can't be in between. You can. His style is so aggressive, and I think you all know that people like Chamisa, they don't take Chinyoka seriously anymore because his ideas sometimes are extreme and he leaves you with no opportunity for compromise. So that is why most people find it difficult to relate with Hopewell. He's quite popular outside Zimbabwe, but inside Zimbabwe, people are getting increasingly frustrated with his approach. So at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to ask you guys for money. I want to attend a meeting which is in Geneva, which Chinyoka is going to be addressing. That is in April. So in April, Chinyoka is going to be addressing the Human Rights Geneva Summit for Human Rights and Democracy. And I have been invited there, but unfortunately, I don't have airfares for all that. So you guys have to, someone who's got money here must send me money so that I can go and attend here. And we counter what Chinyoka will be saying about Zimbabwe. So let's go to the actual court case that I want to discuss here. You all remember that last year, Chinyoka was sued by advocate Tinomudaishe Chinyoka. And this is after he tweeted. He put out a set of tweets. And then advocate Chinyoka sued him. And then what happened is the two agreed. That was around September. And Chinyoka apologized. So you can go to gamako.com and you see that story that I'm talking about. Chinyoka apologized. And then he promised to pay a goat, a boar goat, as a token to advocate Tinomudaishe Chinyoka. And then, unfortunately, Chinyoka did not pay, or fortunately, Chinyoka did not pay the goat. He did not deliver the goat to advocate Chinyoka. Instead, what Chinyoka has done is he has filed a counter suit against Chinyoka, in which he's now claiming USD 200,000 from Chinyoka. And the court case, so let me look at the court case. I think it's in the High Court, and it's under HC 4643/12. So if you look on gamako.com, I've put the correct case number there. In fact, let me check it now so that I don't give you the wrong court case number. So the case is ongoing, and the lawyer for Chinyoka obviously is Beatrice Mtetwa, and that is Mtetwa and Nyambirai. And so that is HC 4643/21. So that is the court case number in which you can find details of this court case. And as I said, Chinyoka, he did not go ahead with his promise to pay after he apologized to advocate Tinomudaishe Chinyoka and promised to pay a goat. He refused to now pay, and he has proceeded to go to court. And he is going on 2 tweets that were made by Chinyoka. And these tweets, you can find the details in those court cases if you go to the court papers that are, it's public documents. So you look for HC 4643/21 at the High Court in Harare. So that is where the court case is. So very interesting. Chinyoka dragged to court. Right now, he's also in court with Jesima Jome for defamation. So if you go there, you'll see that he's got another court case from December where Jesse Majome is suing him for a different case of defamation. So as I said, Chinyoka is going to be addressing in Geneva on the 6th of April, 2022, the Geneva Summit for Human Rights and Democracy. And I am going to be there, but I'm only going to be there if I get Efe. So I need Efe. Guys, if someone has got money here who wants me to go there, let me know. Let's do this. We want to make sure that we get the right narrative out there. We don't want the wrong picture always coming out about Zimbabwe. So I want us to arrange for Gambakwe to be at the summit. I'm already got the confirmation for my attendance. So if you think I'm lying, let me show you. I've already confirmed my attendance. Unfortunately, my hospital bills are still being paid. I'm still paying my hospital bills since last year. So if you look here, this is my invitation here. Geneva Summit for Human Rights and Democracy. So I'm going to be there if you guys hook me up with some airfares, maybe about $2,000 to sort out our travel to and fro. And also I'll try to put in a word or two there, because obviously the narrative about Zimbabwe, I know that there are a lot of things happening in Zimbabwe, but I just feel that some of the views that are being expressed by Chinyoka are just too extreme. He's just a bit too extreme. And he does not leave a gap for compromise, for discussion. Long back, my grandfather used to tell me, when you fight, you must leave space for compromise. But when Chinyoka goes, he goes for a war of attrition. He fights to the death. And that is what is causing some of the problems in Zimbabwe, the polarization. It's either my side wins or all of us go down. So that is how this, how I'm seeing Chinyoka's behavior right now. He doesn't leave any room for compromise at all. So basically, let me wrap this up. Chinyoka has now taken advocate Tinomudaishe Chinyoka to court, demanding USD 200,000 for defamation over 2 tweets. One of the tweets is with regards to the information that Chinyoka has been sharing, which apparently advocate Chinyoka had tweeted that information was plagiarized. And secondly, there was a tweet in which Chinyoka was being accused of being a rapist, but not Chinyoka. I think it was written Hopewell. So there's a bit of a fight there. I've looked at the court papers. That is one of the arguments in those court papers. Then obviously, Jesse Majome also suing Hopewell. So we're going to see that court case when it does come out, when I get the papers. I'm going to let you know what it is all about, why Jesse is suing Hopewell Chinyoka. And as I said, Hopewell, a very, very divisive character in Zimbabwe, very, very extreme views that is peddling at the moment. And we want to see where this is going to go, because the time for compromise is coming. And if you're too extreme, if you're too much on one side or the other, then you'll be left out, because the solution in Zimbabwe is people to come together and talk and solve problems. And people who are too extreme, they never get that done. Right, let me look at a few comments. Kainos Chipaze, Hopewell is a true hero. I don't agree. I think at the moment, Hopewell has lost his path. He's no longer a journalist. He's more of a political activist, and he's always trying to get as much attention as possible. Then Charles is saying, why don't you talk about ZANU-PF Gambakwe? I talk about ZANU-PF all the time. There's no post that happens where I don't talk about ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is a very organized party. I always tell you that. They've got structures, and if they manage to get their people out during any of the upcoming elections, they'll win. I talk about ZANU-PF. So Charles, you're not right about that. I'm sure ZANU-PF guys are listening to me every day. And similarly, I do talk about Chamisa. So the good thing about Gambakwe Media is that we give everyone coverage. No one can complain that we don't give them coverage, especially Chamisa. In the past 30 days, every single video that I've made, except for 2 or 3, is about Chamisa and CCC. we're probably marketing Chamisa more than anybody. And then Leo Elvis do saying, Gambako, you're biased and a disgrace. How do you go to Geneva? You're playing with people's lives. Zana Nemondi. Right. So, guys, what I'm saying is, I've had an invitation here to go to Geneva at the very same conference that Hopewell will be addressing. I need airfare. So, if you guys need someone who's going to be there to challenge Hopewell when he's speaking, I need airfare. You know my number. Let me give you my number, guys. Those who wanna help me with airfare, there is my number. WhatsApp me there. I wanna be there on 6 April, and then we wanna see if we can say anything here when Hopo is speaking. Then we can challenge him, especially when he's talking about Zimbabwe. I know most of the things that Hopo says are extreme and untruth. So let's say he's telling the truth. That's KD. He's telling the truth. Corruption has killed our country. When last do you expose corruption ban? Right, KD, Zimbabwe is not the most corrupt country at all in Southern Africa, in the world. And the way Hopo looks at this and the way he talks, it's as if Zimbabwe is the most corrupt country. It's not true. They are corrupt people. I think South Africa is more corrupt than Zimbabwe, by far. The COVID funds here, 20 billion was blown. One young guy bought 11 sports cars here. And west in South Africa, whistleblowers are getting killed. Here in this country, the people who did whistleblowing, they got killed. Don't even listen to someone telling you Zimbabwe is corrupt. The problem in Zimbabwe is not corruption. The problem in Zimbabwe is polarization, sanctions, and failure for people to come together. This is the problem that we have in Zimbabwe. This business of corruption will never finish. And I always tell you, the most corrupt places in Zimbabwe, cities, which are being run by the MDC or the CCC, like Bulawayo, sewage pond. That is the most corrupt city right now, even after more corrupt than Harare. Bulawayo is a disgrace and it's being run by CCC. West, we talk about the state scandals in Harare, including Chamisa himself, the CBZ funds, Job Scala, Wende, Chamisa, they all are implicated there. So don't even talk about Chamisa. If Hopo wants to challenge this, he must go and talk about CBZ and what Chamisa has done there, and Scala and his friend Scala, who got $100,000 and didn't pay back. People like Mliswa, who are implicated in all these scandals. NASA, these all implicate people who are in the CCC, like Mahere. She was the lawyer for the guys who are in NASA there, who are in corruption. So don't even talk about corruption, because we all know what's happening. Corruption does not know a political party. And this is the narrative that we want to do. And surely, I'm sure that if someone is speaking about that, people who don't know, they'll think that Zimbabwe is the most corrupt country. I do not agree. Now, let's go to Charles. You've already talked, and I'm not going to display your comment about ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF has been talked about. And the good thing about me, whenever there's a new government, or when the government comes, let's say Chamisa gets into government, I'm already there to hold him to account. You see, I don't owe anything to him. I don't owe anything to anybody. Maybe except the guys who are going to give me the airfare. I'll owe you a bit. Now let's look at just joking, guys. Let's look at another last comment. Cool ruler Penny. Don't compare SA corruption in Zim. You're enjoying SA bread there, driving on carpet roads. Do you know how much I pay to drive on South African roads? Zimbabwean guys don't understand. Roads don't just get fixed for nothing. Let me tell you how much I pay. I want to start with the roads. I've got what is called an e-tag. Every time I drive on a public freeway, and I'm driving from here to Pretoria, let's say I pay 10 rands just to drive there. On my way back, I pay 10 rands. If I drive to Polokwane, I'm going to pay a minimum of 300 rands. And on the return is the same. Similar if you're going to Durban. You pay. You don't just get a nice road without paying. Zimbabweans are paying nothing. If you put a toll gate between Chitungwiza and Harare, you all complain. Your road will be nice. So if you want the government to put toll gates there, then your roads will be nice. Let's take healthcare. All of you are always complaining about healthcare. For my family here in South Africa, medical aid, every month, I pay 12,000 rands. So just look at that. That's about $1,000 every month for medical aid. That's an installment. That money is not coming back. Zimbabwean guys are not paying anything. You just complain. Electricity, most of you, I've got a house in Harare, and I pay, what, $50, 50, whatever, I don't know, $50. It lasts me 3, 4, 5 months. And I don't, like, I've got visitors in my house. No one pays more than $50. Here in my current house where I stay, this is a small house with 3 bedrooms. I pay no less than $200 a month on electricity. We're not even talking about water. So, Zim guys, refuse, you don't pay. I'm paying here $80 a month for refuse. So, the problem that we have in Zimbabwe is not the Zimbabwe government. It's just a revenue model that needs to be changed. And I always tell you, the problem in Zimbabwe is not ZANU-PF. It's everybody. And when it comes to corruption, guys in CCC, they're the godfathers of corruption, especially people like BT. Anyone who's corrupt, they are represented by BT. So don't even complain about corruption. You are enabling it. Now let's go to Nyasha. Please, Gambakwe, comment on CCC last rally. That is in Gweru. There were like 500 people there. You saw it. Most of the people, they were bussed from outside. They used the small cars. And some of the guys were coming from the Blaue rally. Then they went over and slept at the Gweru rally. I have put out the speech of Nelson Chamisa on our page, minute by minute. Who broke it down for you. Chamisa is still got the biggest problem, that he does not understand the path to State House. I always say this to you. The path to State House is through dialogue. Chamisa does not get it. He thinks he's going to wake up one day and say, oh, you guys who are here in government, in each department, get out. We're coming in with new people. That's what Chamisa thinks. He's got another thing coming. It's not possible to do that. In Zimbabwe, there is a very, very strong political party, which is ZANU-PF. The transition stage or phase of Zimbabwe is going to be at least 20 years. So Chamisa right now is 45 or 44. So when Chamisa is 64, that is when he's going to be probably in office, according to transition. So it will take those 20 years for the transition to take place, where you can replace the current system with a new system. But Chamisa does not know how to create a system. If you talk to people like me, if these guys don't fight me, I'll show him how to create a system. It's strategy that is required. And you don't need people who just sing songs at a rally. That is the problem. And then Richard says, you have not come back on Chamisa strategies. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you about Hakainde Hichilema. So watch that same time, 9:10, why Hakainde Hichilema is now sponsoring or funding Nelson Chamisa. We'll be talking about that. I want to wrap up, guys. So the topic we're talking about here, advocate Tinomudaishe Chinyoka. He sued Hopewell last year. Hopewell apologized, pulled down the posts that he had put up, and then promised to pay a boar goat. But instead of paying the boar goat, Hopewell turned around and he went and now sued Advocate Chinyoka for $200,000 US, and he's now refusing to pay the goat, according to the court papers HC 4643/21 in the High Court in Harare. So that is the current court case, which is ongoing. And also on top of that, Oppo is being sued by Jesse Majome for defamation. So we've got 3 defamation court cases going on. The one by Advocate Chinyoka, because he did not, the payment was not done. So there's that one, the counter suit by Chingono, and the one by Jesse Majome against against Chingwano. So those three. And as I said, Chingwano speaking at Geneva on 6 April, and I need about $2,000 to go there so that I'll be present during that conference. So that is it for today. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I hope you found this useful. I'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow is Tuesday. So I'm sorry about that. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We're going to be talking to Dr. Fedias Mteneri. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about Hakainde Hichilema and how he's funding Chamisa. So Chamisa is now being funded by the Zambians. You saw what is happening. You saw his whole thing there in Bulawayo. You saw his car. You saw his 20 bodyguards. And you saw that Chamisa had even more security than usual. He's now wearing a bulletproof vest under his suit. So if you go to gambako.com, you will see pictures of that. So that is it for today. And thank you very much for watching. Good night. Uko kuno